mega exclusive, as this is a word that's coming out from the FBI in the US, where they are saying that Khalistan groups are no longer protesters in the United States of America, and the FBI is bound to take action against them under the criminality that is in fact being done by these groups. This is as per top government sources that Khalistan groups will be dealt firmly by US authorities. And remember, in earlier discussions also with the government of the United States of America and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, they used to maintain that these activities come under the freedom of expression, but now that stance is changing. My colleague Abhishek Jha continues to be with us on the broadcast to offer more perspective on this story. Abhishek, we were just a short while back talking about what kind of action really is the US planning to take on the perpetrators of this heinous crime. They are firebombing the Indian Consulate in United States of America, and other than condemnation, we've not seen any constructive action. Does this seem like a way forward?
It looks like yes, because initially we had seen State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller saying that the vandalism or violence against diplomatic facilities or foreign diplomats in the US is a criminal offense. So we had some inkling that this time the actions are going to be something strong, and it's not just be like some verbal assurances coming from the government and they'll be sleeping after that. Latest information is that FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation in USA, is now going to take the two cases that has happened at San Francisco Consulate of India as a criminal activity, and they will not be treated as a protester. So this whole Khalistani groups who have been operating on the soil of USA will now no more be allowed to be under the category of protesters or democratic right activists, but they will be treated as criminals. So criminality will be pressed against these groups and their activities. In earlier discussion with the government, they have been used that these activities are under freedom of expression. So this is what had protected these Khalistani elements in the past on several occasions, but now it looks like because of the vandalism and the violence and the next level of extremism that they are trying to showcase, and then as they have also named diplomats, they have made posters with their name, and they have said that they are going to do some actions against these individuals. So clearly that is a threat to the diplomatic community present in USA, and this time US government is not going to allow it. This is going to be taken very seriously. FBI has assured, and there are talks. The officials from both the government and intelligence officials in USA and India are regularly in touch on the issue. And in the days to come, it looks like there will be some strong actions against these activities, because they are no more freedom of expression or democratic rights protesters. They are criminal, and they will be treated as per the law.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Abhishek. In fact, we are getting more reactions on this story that we continue to track on CNN News 18. My colleague Anjali Pandey also spoke to the founder and CEO of Divya TV, which is a regional channel that's been broadcasted out of the United States of America. Ravi Kapoor has spoken on the K Group's attack in San Francisco. Let's listen in.
There was a sting operation in the Central Valley of California, and a number of people considered to be involved with gangs in the Central Valley, all of whom were of Sikh origin, all of whom were Punjabi, were arrested and by authorities here in California. So because San Francisco police is involved, potentially the FBI as well, there is very likely to be a number of law enforcement agents involved.
Also, Mr. Kapoor, why do you think there is a rise in such attacks by separatist groups in San Francisco?
Well, it's hard to say about San Francisco specifically. I mean, I've been here my entire life. My family's been here for more than 60 years. So this has always been a very unified community, largely Punjabi historically, but with Silicon Valley, it's really diversified. You have people from all the different states in India that have immigrated here, assimilated here, done incredibly well. But you do have this very large emerging theme amongst certain groups. You get that in Canada and you get that in California, where there is a group of folks that are looking for Khalistan to get formed. And
also, Mr. Kapoor, the United States State Department has condemned this attack, but on the other hand, we are not seeing any concrete action being taken against the separatist group.
Well, I think what has happened here is that there is immense dialogue between these two nations. I mean, I was very fortunate. I was actually in the very front row for that press conference between Prime Minister Modi and President Biden. and got to see. They only took a couple of questions each, but I could see the camaraderie between Ambassador Garcetti, who's now representing the United States, and External Affairs Minister Jaishankar, and they were having a nice conversation before that event got started. So I think these two governments are working together on intelligence.
After firebombing of Indian Consulate in San Francisco, Australian authorities are on high alert, as we understand right now. Concerning is the least what we can say. It's unprecedented that Indian High Commission, Indian Consulate, or its officials are being openly threatened. The posters and posts are floating on social media, especially on TikTok, for calling decisive action. And this decisive action is not for protest. This is not for making a human chain or something. This decisive action, they are calling for physically harming Indian officials here in Australia. And as yet, we haven't heard anything from Australian authorities, be it Department of Foreign Affairs, which is responsible for well-being of diplomats here in Australia. We haven't heard from Australian Federal Police or local Victorian or ACT Police. They are yet to respond to our queries about these threats to these officials. Everyone follows the law of land. Australia does not allow you to threaten anybody. The people who are responsible for all these posters and attacks on Indian. In January, the Australia Today reported there were a number of attacks on Indian Australians, number of attacks on temples, number of threats given to journalists and diplomats as well. They have to move from their house in one of the western suburb in Melbourne to or one of the regional area. I'm sorry, I can't name where they are living right now, but they have to move because of the threat to their son, who was writing something on social media and opposing Khalistan propaganda.
इंडियन काउंसलेट सैन फ्रांसिस्को में जो आगजनी करने की कोशिश की गई, हम उसके कड़े शब्दों में निंदा करते हैं। ये वो लोग हैं जो भारत के और सिखों के ही दुश्मन बन बैठे हैं। जिस कारण ये मैसेज दिया जाने की कोशिश कर रही है, कल कैनेडियन एम्बेसडर और उनके डिप्लोमेट्स के साथ जिस तरह से उनकी फ़ोटो डालकर उनको टारगेट बनाया जा रहा है और ये कहा जा रहा है कि कनाडा के अंदर एक सिख का कत्लेआम में स्टेट का हाथ है, ये पूरी तरह से गलत है। भारत स्टेट सिखों की जान बचाने में विश्वास रखता है। ये जो लोग कर रहे हैं ये भारत के भी दुश्मन हैं, सिखों के भी दुश्मन हैं और ये आईएसआई की हालतों में खेलने वाले लोग हैं। मैं विदेशों में बैठे सिखों से आग्रह करता हूं ऐसे लोगों को आइडेंटिफाई किया जाए और उनके खिलाफ कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए।
And with that, we are slipping into a very short break and coming right back with lots more that's in store for you. Stay tuned.